Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. I welcome you to this video. Today we are going to talk about why the big tech companies need to be broken up and what exactly is the antitrust law. You might have heard about these terminologies for a long time, but many people really don't even know why exactly these big tech companies have created monopolies and how they control the exact flow of information all over the globe. So, this is an article from the New York Times which says four of the world's wealthiest men are preparing for battle. Members of Congress will be able to grill tech CEOs at a hearing. Let's hope they don't waste the opportunity. So, as you can figure out, we are going to discuss how exactly these big tech control the masses and control the public on a large scale all over the globe. So let's get started. Hi. So as you can see here, these are the four people: Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, then you have Tim Cook of Apple, Sundar Pichai of Google, which is the alphabet, and Jeff Bezos of Amazon. These four people literally control the entire, you know, uh, online marketplace. So, amid the coronavirus pandemic, Congress's attention will turn briefly to another matter: world domination. On Wednesday, the chief executives of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google's parent company Alphabet will appear together to defend themselves in a continuing inquiry into their market power by the congressional subcommittee focused on antitrust. So, all these four people are coming in front of the United States Congress because, the Congress needs to figure out whether these companies are just too big to fail. If you might have observed in the 2008 financial crisis, Lehman Brothers and many other big, finance companies were literally deemed as too big to fail. So what that means is that if Lehman Brothers fails, and it did fail eventually, then the entire system collapses. So that is exactly what has happened with the big tech companies. So as you know, Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook literally control the entire flow of information, and they have literally become like juggernauts. They are so big that if they fail, the entire economy will come crashing down. So that's why Congress, like the United States Congress, needs to have like a hold on how exactly these companies are operating. The virus's reach means Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Tim Cook of Apple, and Sundar Pichai of Alphabet will dial into the hearing via video chat, avoiding the glare of photographers, members of Congress, and the gallery as they are peppered with questions. So they will just be having like a video call chat. While in their home offices, the men also could receive messages from aides about how to respond. So, to be honest with you, all these big companies, they have, very big PR campaigns, and they just give, like sketched out answers which are just not at all helpful, to be honest. But that's the sad part about the corporate culture. That's why many companies just become very big, and they become like police states, and they control the entire flow of information. Nonetheless, the one-day hearing conducted by the House Judiciary Committee's Antitrust Subcommittee could give the public a rare glimpse into the inner workings of some of the world's most valuable companies. Panel members are likely to turn a good deal of attention to Mr. Bezos, the world's wealthiest person, in part because he has never appeared before Congress. He initially tried to avoid it this time. So, Jeff Bezos has never ever appeared in front of the US Congress, and to be honest with you, Amazon is the company that does not pay any tax whatsoever. So, all the other three people have appeared before Congress. Mark Zuckerberg has been there, Tim Cook has been there, and Sundar Pichai has also been there, but not Jeff Bezos. And Amazon has been accused of exploiting its employees. Amazon has been accused of many other different things. So, it will be very fascinating to see how Bezos responds to something like this. The challenge for the subcommittee will be in establishing whether these tech companies, which have amassed immeasurable power, operate as illegal monopolies in certain domains. So, I'll read this one more time for you to grasp this. The challenge for the subcommittee will be in establishing whether these tech companies, these four tech companies, which have amassed immeasurable power, literally, like these companies have, humongous amounts of power, and whether they operate as illegal monopolies in certain domains, such as online search, Google. So Google definitely has like a monopoly over online search, online marketplaces, Amazon, mobile phone app stores, Apple, the dissemination of information, Facebook, advertising sales, Google and Facebook, and mergers and acquisitions. It's not against the law to be the largest search engine, online marketplace, or social media network. So it's not that it's against the law to be the largest search engine, online marketplace, or social media network, but antitrust laws meant to protect against outsized market power do not allow companies to suppress competition, a practice known as exclusionary conduct, by, for instance, quashing or gobbling up potential rivals. So, to be very honest with you, Facebook, Google, even Microsoft, Apple, all of these companies have always tried to just gobble up small players so that they become bigger and bigger. So Microsoft has recently, acquired Skype, LinkedIn, so all these companies are under the Microsoft umbrella now. Even Facebook has acquired Instagram, WhatsApp. So they just want to control the entire flow of information. Even Google has acquired many companies. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon has acquired also major companies all over the world. And all definitely Apple. Apple is like odd man's out. Apple likes to do everything by itself, but definitely they have a monopoly. Freed from competition, companies may also cross the line by squeezing suppliers or imposing higher prices on consumers. So, how this works is that if these big tech companies have complete and utter monopoly over the market, then they just charge any amount of money to the consumers or to the advertisers uh, for them to use their services. So, once any company has a monopoly over any type of market, they are definitely going to be able to exploit it to their own advantage. That's why these kind of antitrust laws are in place in many countries all over the globe. Even in Europe, Google and Facebook have been fined by the European Commission regarding the antitrust laws because they have just become too big to fail. Wednesday's hearing will be the culmination of a roughly year-long investigation into the business's operations and is likely to be the final public forum before the subcommittee releases its findings expected in the fall. So, if you want to know my opinion, I don't think there is anything big going to happen out of these findings because, even the government is in bed with these big tech companies. So, I don't think they are going to break up these tech companies. But I'm making this video just because I want to tell you how big power these big tech companies have over our daily lives. Representative David Cicilline, Democrat of Rhode Island and the subcommittee's chairman, has indicated that tech companies may not like the results this month, calling the company's power terrifying. So the company's power is terrifying at this moment. These four companies. That's what the subcommittee's chairman is saying. It's up to the subcommittee to help the public understand the breadth of the company's power and potentially to recommend the regulators break them up or take other action. Also at issue is determining if existing rules are sufficient given the tech company's market power and whether the laws should be updated because the companies behave in ways that should be illegal. So they are just saying this out loud. This is an article from the New York Times. So whether the issue at hand is determining if existing rules are sufficient. So as I said, these big tech companies, they have twisted the legal arm many times, and that's why I don't think the existing rules are sufficient. And tech companies' market power and whether the law should be updated because the companies behave in ways that should be illegal. So definitely these companies behave in ways that should be illegal, but still they are allowed to operate. Here are some questions subcommittee members ought to consider. So we'll go through all the four companies. We'll first go through Amazon now. The subcommittee will probably focus on the company's relationship with third-party merchants that use the site to sell directly to consumers. Such merchants represent about 60% of Amazon's sales. The company also operates an enormous shipping network, an advertising sales business, and a cloud computing service that may raise alarms among regulators. Amazon's trove of sales data gives it incredibly detailed insights into both customers and merchants. After an investigation by German regulators, Amazon vowed last year to overhaul its contracts with third party merchants. Did the company adequately do so? Does Amazon have contracts that require lower prices than other retailers? Does it require exclusivity, meaning merchants cannot offer their goods on other sellers' websites? So, as you can see here, even German regulators had fined Amazon because they said that Amazon literally has a monopoly over the online marketplace domain. And Amazon's lawyer told the panel, "We don't use individual seller data directly to compete with other businesses on Amazon's site, but a Wall Street Journal report showed evidence that Amazon does just that, helping it create tailored private label products that undercut competitors." What is the extent of Amazon's use of seller data? So, Amazon does all of these kind of shady things. Amazon offers its sellers warehousing and shipping services worldwide. What does it seek in return beyond the commission? Does Amazon use sales data from small merchants to source new products or to help large sellers succeed, forcing out smaller ones? There are many retail stores all over the world that do not want Amazon to come to their neighborhood or even Walmart to come to their neighborhood because they know that once these big companies come there, they will just go bankrupt. In 2010, Amazon dropped diaper prices well below profitability in a successful effort to force a competitor diapers.com into acquisition talks. So this is exactly how these big companies operate. So in 2010, Amazon dropped diaper prices well below profitability. So they were literally selling it dirt cheap, and they were successfully able to force a competitor, which is diapers.com, into acquisition talks. So how this works is that if your competitor is literally not able to do business at any cost whatsoever because you have literally dropped the prices to bare minimum, then they will come to you begging to just be a part of your own company. Amazon has since shuttered that site. Does Amazon view such actions as exclusionary, and is the company engaged in other such pricing wars in order to force a competitor to sell? A Washington Post investigation showed that Amazon pushes consumers toward its private label products even when they appear to want to buy name brands. Does Amazon favor its own products in consumer searches? Does it require fees or advertising purchases from merchants or brands to ensure that their products rise to the top of the searches? Now we'll look at Apple. While Apple is best known for its iPhones and laptops, it also has healthy competition from companies like Samsung and Lenovo in hardware sales. As a result, Mr. Cook is most likely to be asked about the structure of Apple's App Store, where millions of software developers offer their apps for download. Why does Apple permit only its own App Store on iPhones? So it can also have App Store of Google, right, like the Play Store, Google Play Store, or it can have like Amazon Kindle App Store. But why does it only permit the Apple App Store on iPhone? Because you cannot install any other App Store on iPhone as such. Developers are generally required to offer their in-app purchases and paid subscriptions through Apple's App Store rather than on their own websites, where they may avoid Apple's commissions. Apple has threatened to remove apps that don't abide. How is this in the best interest of consumers and app developers? This is also a very valid point that Apple just tries to force you to use the in-app purchases using the Apple's App Store platform, and it does not allow the purchases to go to the third party website. So yeah, Apple also has its own commission into this. Some app developers have alleged that Apple uses the detailed data and collects about app downloads to copy their ideas, and that the company favors its own apps and searches. Is this true? If so, how does the company defend such practices? So these are all the questions that the committee, the antitrust subcommittee, will be able to ask these four big tech giants. Facebook. Facebook's aggressive acquisition strategy, including the giants Instagram and WhatsApp, makes it vulnerable to a breakup if regulators find that it was trying to rid the market of real competition. So Facebook's aggressive acquisition strategy, including the giants Instagram and WhatsApp, makes it vulnerable to a breakup if regulators find that it was trying to rid the market of real competition. As I said, both these companies, Instagram and WhatsApp, were acquired by Facebook, and so it has just literally, eradicated the competition. Reportedly, the Federal Trade Commission had documents demonstrating Facebook acquired Instagram in 2012 in an explicit bid to stifle a competitor. So this is like an exclusive, document from the Federal Trade Commission, which says that Facebook acquired Instagram in 2012 in an explicit bid to stifle the competitor. Were those documents mischaracterized? How did Facebook's buying Instagram benefit consumers, and how did it determine the $1 billion price? British lawmakers released emails showing Facebook used an analytics app to collect detailed data about competitors in order to snuff them out. This is just out in the open. That helped Facebook decide to buy WhatsApp for $19 billion, the emails show. Couldn't that be called an abuse of market power? It definitely can. This definitely is abuse of market power, and these big tech companies have been doing something like this for a long, long time. Does Facebook still cull proprietary data on rivals in order to protect its market leadership? Advertisers can target customers on Facebook with incredible accuracy, in part because of the platform's ability to track users' internet browsing activity across the web. Shouldn't users consider those terms onerous? Definitely they should. Also, has Facebook made assurances about the privacy of customer data that it later reneged on? What assurances do consumers have that their data will remain private and not be repurposed for Facebook's benefit? So, many people really don't know how Facebook exactly makes money. I will make another video about that, but it's all about advertising. They work with a micro targeting of consumers, and that's how they make money. According to Wall Street Journal, Facebook quashed efforts to make its site less politically divisive because partisan content drives more use of the site, which is beneficial to its advertising business. So, as I said, Facebook has been instrumental in sowing divisions into the society because, as you can see here, Facebook quashed efforts to make its site less politically divisive. So Facebook, like Mark Zuckerberg, wants Facebook to be more politically divisive because partisan content drives more use of the site, which is beneficial to its advertising business. How can suppressing opposing views for users be viewed as anything but an abuse of power? So, all these things are, really very, very, abusive, and they are not at all very good in terms of competition. So, Chris Hughes, a co founder of Facebook, says the company is so big and powerful that it threatens our democracy. So, you can see here Mark Zuckerberg and Chris Hughes. So this person, Chris, who is a co-founder of Microsoft, says the company is so big and powerful that it threatens our democracy and it surely needs to be broken up. Now we will look at Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. So Alphabet's signature product, Google, is central to nearly every activity on the web, and increasingly many activities off the web as well. It is the dominant search engine by far and operates sprawling advertising and cloud computing businesses. Subcommittee members are likely to home in on how Google's search business potentially stifles competition by favoring its own services, and how YouTube, a Google subsidiary, pushes content to users. Frequently, answers to common Google search questions can be found in so called answer boxes at the top of a results page. Google culls that information from other websites, eliminating the need for users to visit those sites. Doesn't that starve other websites of valuable traffic? Don't answer boxes simply buttress Google's market leadership by stifling competitors? It surely does. Google has paid Apple billions of dollars to be the default search engine on the Safari web browser on iPhones and iPads. How does Google expect rivals to compete on an even playing field if it has cornered such a significant share of the market? Google controls multiple levers in the process of placing advertisements on the web, including analytics. The company also requires some businesses to use its ad technology if they want to use Google services. How does Google's ad sales technology benefit advertisers? Why doesn't Google allow marketers to see what prices others pay to place ads? Doesn't that stifle bargaining power? It sure does. Critics say YouTube pushes videos that are politically slanted, based on data about its users, meaning viewers aren't likely to see competing viewpoints. Is it correct that YouTube software is designed to reinforce biases? Other than keeping users on YouTube longer, what is the purpose of that system? So, these are all very, very valid questions. And if you ask me personally, I can definitely say that Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Apple, all of these companies really need to be broken up because, they have become really very, very big. And, it's high time that, we if we want to encourage competition, if we want to really have actual free market, then these big monopolies need to be broken up. And every company should be able to concentrate on just one area of expertise. So say Google is in search engines, right? So Google should not be allowed to go to any other platforms, like not in the map domain or in the like video sharing domain or anything like that. So that is my personal opinion. But definitely I can tell you that all these four companies have become very big. And the wealth gap between rich and poor has grown starkly all over the world because of this, because the billionaires are getting richer and richer, and the poor people literally have nothing. And that was also one of the reasons why the George Floyd protests were literally so violent, because people have had with it. They just don't want to buy this BS anymore. That's why they were on the streets, and they were literally burning cops cars. So we are living in a very, very amazing world nowadays, and this is almost like a sort of a reckoning that is happening worldwide about how exactly we view our past, how exactly we run the society. So if you want detailed analysis of this kind of world stage, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because nobody else will give you detailed analysis of worldwide topics. So please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll stop talking here. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.